Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise is indeed in good hands by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni because, well, let's face it, they've truly reunited the entire fandom with the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2, really giving fans, a great version of Luke Skywalker that we all wanted to see in the sequel trilogy movies. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Lucasfilm right now is that they really do have a lot on their plate. I mean, there is no doubt about it that they are very ambitious with what they are doing for the future Star Wars projects. They are already working on over a dozen Star Wars projects on Disney Plus alone. That is completely separate from the numerous movies that are currently in the early development phase. That's really going to really connect all together to really make up this new expanded universe moving ahead. Now, with that being said, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, alright? As I like to call it, the Favloni universe. But the projects that they are working on that are going to come full circle is really going to give a lot of fans, great insight into Force lore, Jedi lore, everything related to that. That's going to change our view of Star Wars. So, the Favloni universe is looking very bright. They really are doing a great job with everything moving ahead. However, what's really exciting all has to do with what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are also doing on the side in order to fulfill the character of Rey Kenobi. Now, we talked about this briefly before in the past, about how Disney is indeed, yes, planning a 4-hour cut of Episode 9 on Disney+. Now, with that being said, now that The Mandalorian Season 3 is currently in development, both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new projects for the universe moving ahead. Now, it's described that both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are indeed working on a major project for the 4-hour cut of The Rise of Skywalker as a side task for the Star Wars fandom to bring Rey Kenobi to fans and to make it a reality for them to witness on Disney Plus as a separate deleted scene. Now, further, it's described that both Favreau and Filoni are in charge of making Rey Kenobi happen using the partially shot footage from the original cuts of Episode 9 that never made it to the big screen, in order to give fans what could have been for Episode 9 of what would have happened if Kathleen Kennedy did not interrupt. Now, it's described further that Jon and Dave are working on a sequence for Rey Kenobi that will involve Rey meeting Obi-Wan Kenobi portrayed by Ewan McGregor, and that they have been in the talks with Ewan to step back in to fulfill the role for the deleted scenes to fill in the partially shot footage between J.J. Abrams and George Lucas. Now, Ewan is actually described to be aimed to shoot some footage for this once the Kenobi series wraps filming sometime during the end of this summer into the early fall. Now, the sequence is set to also include a moment in which Kenobi is said to have an older design while meeting his granddaughter for the first time in person. Now, though the scene won't be considered canon, it's going to be a project by Jon and Dave to really show fans what the scene would have looked like for the fans around the world. So let's stop right here for 1 second before we actually move on. Even Daisy Ridley admitted to this a couple of months ago that they were going back and forth between Rey Nobody, Rey Skywalker, Rey Kenobi, all these different aspects for Episode 9 that could have been a big deal for the fans. And it's very upsetting that we were all pretty much, led to a point in which we got what we got in Episode 9. A lot of fans out there, including myself, really dislike the entire concept of Rey just calling herself a Skywalker at the end of the day. That's just how I felt. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I felt. I felt very shortchanged when it came to that movie. I felt that there could have been so much more to the character of Rey at the very ending of Episode 9. And Colin Trevorrow, by the way, wanted to actually do something very unique with Rey Nobody, by making her Rey Solana and kind of diving more into who her parents really were and how they were very powerful. That would have been, I think, more, unique and original. I know a lot of fans out there would have preferred Rey Nobody, but let's face it, it's Star Wars, we like the bloodlines, we like how characters are associated with other characters, at least the main roles, right? Because it's the Skywalker saga. So what they should have done, from the very beginning, it should have been Rey Kenobi right from the get-go, or Rey Skywalker right from the very start. You know, none of the Rey Palpatine and Rey Skywalker mixed in one scenario. That, to me, I think was a little too much and a little too out there for fans. And it really left, by the way, a lot of casual fans very, very confused. Like, those fans that really did not know much about what was going on are still confused as to why she is both a Skywalker and a Palpatine, because, well, she's not really a Skywalker. She just called herself a Skywalker, right? So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, I think that we're still dealing with a lot of scenarios right now. A lot of successes coming out of Disney and Lucasfilm, so I'm very happy about that. So, with that being said, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know anything about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.